Alright, good day everyone, wherever that you are. Quickly, I wanted to come back to binary.com in order for us to look into trading again. This is what we started with, where everybody was saying, I need to come back to, digit trading and all that. And that's what I'm actually trying to do right now. And I want to believe, a number of us will actually be so, excited about this for the popular demand that you guys have actually been across to me. Okay, you want me to do this, you want me to do that, and that's what I'm actually trying to do right now. So now, without wasting further ado, let's go right into it. Remember, okay, now let's start this way. Remember, this started as binary.com before they changed their name, right, rebranded themselves into becoming Derive.com right now. But the major secret there is they still work the same way. It's still the same way, they're operating. It's just about, changing the platform, giving it a phase off, a lift up and all that. So it's quite simple. So we're going to, I'm going to teach you guys, very simple strategy you can be using. But before we get started, I would like to, reiterate on the rules of trading again to us. Number one, you've got to treat trading as a business. If truly you want to make, real good profit from it, you got to treat it like a business, not just a hobby, like many people used to do. The way the kind of energy you exert on it, we actually tell you, we actually determine the results you're going to get from it. So you need to get really serious about it. Take it, treat it as a business, get really serious, focused on it, and you will surely get result from it. That's number one. Number two, you've got to be highly disciplined. People making very serious money from here are very disciplined folks. You've got to really be disciplined. Follow the pattern, follow the rules that you set for yourself. And number three, don't overtrade. This is still under, discipline. You shouldn't overtrade. Whatever thing that you actually set for yourself is what you should actually go ahead with. Whatever thing that you set for yourself is what you should actually use. And number four, after not being over trading, like I said, number four, maintain money management. If truly you want to make money from there, maintain real good money management so that you're really disciplined. You've got, and under money management, you should actually make a provision for losses, because there is nothing like 100%, stuff that you're doing. You've got to, really make room for, gains and losses. But the ability to actually recover from your losses is actually what makes you a better trader. And, like I said, don't overtrade, which is the major thing there. And then last but not least, don't be greedy. If you actually set 2% target for yourself daily, stick with it. And if you set 5% for a number of us, please stick with it. If you can actually do that, you will see that you can actually go for a trading. And at the end of the day, now what I'm going to show us today, later on we'll go into mechanical trading, but for today, let's do digit trading. Digit trading, there are a number of methods in which you can use on digit trading, and that's what we're going to look into today. Now, without wasting much further ado, let's go, like I said, right into this. And what we've been using right now is volatility 25. Of course, you guys should know that it is what actually works really well for me that I'm going to show you. Yes, for some other people, other volatility index might work so well for them. But for me, I've discovered that, volatility 25 actually works with, some strategies I'm actually using. And the balance you guys are seeing is actually, on demo account, not real accounts in there. Yes, for real account, you are allowed to actually trade up to 300,000, which is the highest number you can have, highest balance you can have, the one that you can cap off it, and you'll be asked to actually withdraw, because you cannot trade further than that, based on the account limits and all that. Now, having said that, now let's go right away to the method that I said we're going to use. Yes, we have one, there are different methods here that you can use for your volatility. We've got rise and fall, we have highs and lower, touch and no touch, match, differs, even, odd, and over and under. Can you see now? So we have a bunch of it there. We've got a bunch, and a bunch, and a bunch. Now, it's in two categories. You can do multipliers or you can do options. But for now, we're actually going into options. So, but for today, I'm actually going to teach you the method on over and under, or as you guys can see. And what we'll actually be looking at is we'll be trading both over to and under 7. Over to and under 7. Why did I take all this? I took this because it returns 40% back to us, and with 40% you'll be able to use what we call money management, which is your Monty-Gill. So for any time you actually want to trade, you must always have a provision of minimum of 5 Monty-Gill on ground. If you can do minimum of 5 Monty-Gill money management, you see that you'll be so good. So like today, let's look at what we're doing. Now we have 148,955. Let's assume that today we actually want to achieve 5%. Definitely 5% of this is going to give us, let's do this way, we're looking at 5%. So what can we actually increase these to? That simply means you're looking at 156 with this, right? So that's number one. And number two, the capital you'll be using, you shouldn't be using more than 2% of your capital for any point in time you want to trade. That's what we call money management. So if you're actually looking at 2% of this, what would 2% of this gives us, if you actually want to try it, 2% gives us this, that's 2%. But because of what we're using, we are going to make use of 5% in there. So let's try and see. Can you see now it's on 2? If it's on 2, that means you are trading above. But now for the tick, you're going to use 2 ticks. Now follow me closely in order for you to see what I'm doing. We're going to use 2 ticks, and you can see 3,000. And the gain we are looking at in there says 156 minus 149. Okay, so that means we're looking at 7,000. So if you do 3, so what will the gain give you? That simply means with this, you will gain 1,200. So how many trades are we looking at here? 1.2. We are looking at making 6 trades. So now let's get started on it. So quickly, now one of the major things I do, I don't make any calculation in it, because this one works more or less like random trading. And some of you guys might probably want to see this as gambling. It's not about gambling, because if you can follow patterns, if you can follow procedures, you should be able to make very good money from it. So now let's get right away into it. Of course, I can give you some formulas to use, but let's just go with random trading. But of course, I want you guys to be mindful of the way I manage, the way I actually make use of my money management, guys. So now let's go now. So take, remember, it's going to show for us here 1 and 2. Okay, so that has made it. Remember, we are going for 6 trades, right? Okay, we aren't even looking at anything because it's at random. Like I said, that's 7. So it's at random. Of course, I have a formula that I use as well, but we aren't looking at that. Very good. So that actually catches us. So what are we going to do? That's the advantage of using 2, because this one is giving 40%. So if you actually want to do this, it won't make your capital to be so too much open to into the market. You'll be able to as you make use of what you have, and you get started. You're able to make recover your profit back, and you make very good use of whatever thing that you have. It's a minimum of 0.5 and maximum of 30. Of course, you still have what we're making use of in there. So it's giving us this. So remember, we're not looking at anything. We're just random. It's still going to give you your money back. It's not about that. So it gives us that money back, and we go back to what we started with. Since we've recovered that, so we'll continue with what we have. But remember that I said your martingale must be able to have a capital that can take care of at least about 5 different martingale for you. So because one of the major disadvantages you can have is not having enough money for you can listen. So this catches us as well. So where do you think you're going now? So go to so this one gives us it recovers the 2 back for us. So it goes back to 150, right? Because that's the third one we did, and it makes the back for us. So it boils down to the capital you're making use of. It boils down to capital you're making use of, right? It boils down to capital you're making use of in there. So now let's say this one gives us that right away, right? So this time around now we can change to 7. Remember, because we are making use of the 2 together, right? Because those are the 2 numbers that will give us, like I rightly said, that will give us actually that 40%. So that's what we give us 40% we're looking at. So that's why we're making use of the 2 together. Okay. So we're going now. So you can actually be interchanging it in between the 2 if that's what you want to do. So that is cut us now. So you make use of 6.5. This time around, of course, you can change it to 2 if you want to do that, and you can continue with your 7 as well. So that gives us the money back. I will continue. So because that recovers that back, we can go back to 2, right? So we can keep changing it like I told us the other time. We can keep changing it. For us to have what we're looking at here. Okay, 1 and boom. Okay, so it gives us that. I will keep going on and on. Of course, like I said, there is nothing like 100% trading method. Of course, many people used to say that, but I actually don't buy into that idea, because I've seen a lot of time that many people will tell you, oh, my strategy is this, but these are the things that I've been using, and it's really been working for me perfectly. Anyway, okay, so this has made recovered it back for us. Now, if you are disciplined enough, you should be able to make a target and you just go with it. I'm just actually giving you an idea of how you can come up with a pattern. So it depends on the way you actually want to be making use of that as well too. Okay, so now, so this time around I can as well come back this way. That means I can be changing between the 2, remember? 1 and 2. So because I've done that, I can actually go as well back to 2. So so it depends. I'm actually giving you an idea, so you as well can actually sit down, look at the pattern this is going, and you go with it. Okay, so this is 154. So we'll soon get into where we are going right now, and we'll just call it a day. So it's not about how fast you're making the money. No, not at all. It's not about how far you're making the money, but it's about how you can study the market, look at what it's doing, and you're able to follow patterns that will actually favor you alongside. So this is 156. So that simply means we've gained what we're looking at today, and we leave a date. Can you see now? So it depends. Of course, it was actually catching us before, but we were able to actually work around it and we make it. So I want to believe I've passed across value to you today. Of course, I'll still come around again to show us how we can do some other things, but for now I will appreciate it if you can subscribe to the channels and you give this a thumb up, and you comment on the comment section. Let's interact, let's see what we can do together. Thanks and God bless you in the next video.